Blog Talk Radio.
Hello, people. What's up? I know I was going to let that play and play and play, but I'm kind of going to change it up a little bit. Salubrious, today is Friday. What is it? Friday, June 27th. And, I don't know, sometimes I'll be wanting to jabber, hey. Sometimes I don't. And I can tell you, once I get on there, I'll be like, okay. But what happened was, as after the studio was closed yesterday, I ended up staying online. Well, I wasn't on air, but you know what I mean. I was still going about looking at some music. I was inquiring about Eve. And so I kind of stayed up. So I'm going to go into that a little bit. But I wasn't sure if you guys was able to hear what was being played on the other end. But, honey, I was in here just jamming to these little songs and everything like that. Yes, honey, I want to go and talk about Easy. Just a little bit. No, like, you know what I mean? Okay. I say, wow, we start talking about these men and, that those men and that lineage and here it is. I'm going to get into all of that. We start talking about gangster rap and hip-hop, and here it is, drug infestation, and then here it is, some homeless people, and yet here it is, those men out there, you ain't taking care of your daddy, he out there homeless. Here it is, you want to sit there and blame somebody else, and yet he needs you out there. He needs you. So here it is, we keep on kneeing each other out. Somewhere in there. We gotta embrace and hug ourselves and say, I don't know. But anyway, I was just sitting here just jamming, just thinking about, certain things. I went to this little song here, this little song there. Like I said, yesterday was kind of fun. Oh, Lord, I done went somewhere else. But I was like, okay, I did a little this, a little. So anyway, I'm going to just play a little bitty stuff. I don't know what y'all listened to yesterday. But anyway, this right here, I was playing this, and I was kind of jamming, kind of dancing to this a little bit. So listen. Okay? All right. And they call it Kingdom. That's Kingdom now. You should see this. That's Kingdom, though. Come on now. I know you guys enjoyed that. I was going to go ahead and trim it down, but, you have to listen to the lyrics of that song, and it's talking about kingdom. I know I spent some time saying, hey, listen to Gregory Isaacs, and Peter Tosh. And I'm just like, okay, here it is for real, those songs are actually over 10 years old, maybe about 10 years old, okay? And it's like, well, here it is over a period of time. It all depends on what you guys think you have achieved since one period of time to the next and what they look like now. And when we look at it, it's just so, so true. There's just so much work in terms of just that team. That means we have a lot of work. And some of these frivolous things that they got us going back and forth with about this, and here it is Twilight, and here it is the bobbleheads. I'm bobbing them with somewhere else because, I ain't calling out them rosters and nothing like that. But I'm like, goodness gracious. That it was somewhere else. That's it. I'm like, here it is. And we look, I don't even want to even play. I just want what? Okay. No. That was somewhere else. That was somewhere else. I just tell you the honest truth. Anyway, today is Friday, June 27, 2014, Salubrious. My name is Irene Ratliff, Regal Street Meat Company. Street Meat Company is a community organization. And as a new seed in our garden, we are seeking. Let me go over that because I'm just scrolling through that like it didn't matter. Because, we had to upgrade it. I'm like, okay, let me have some fun with my little stuff. I'm like, oh, here, I just realized that, honey, Irene Ratliff. Well, then it sounds like Rattler. Like a little rattlesnake and stuff. A little rattle, remember a little rattle. I need to get that sound. But anyway, my name is Irene Ratliff, Regal Street Meat Company. Street Meat Company is a community organization. And as a new seed in our garden, so I'll call the garden, our field, our world, like that, we are seeking partners and sponsorships such as our community, organization, and government entities that are aligned with the interests to help ameliorate goals that can improve our community. Listeners, you can call 646-564-9776. 646-564-9776. Yeah, if you want to have a conversation with me, I'd be thankful that some of our listeners be listening. Hey, I do appreciate it, again, here it is in participation and all that. It's also wanted. Street Meet the Point. Street Meet the Point. We are on air up to 120 minutes daily at 11:30 p.m. Okay. By the grace of goodness, we are on Blog Talk's premium package, and we would like to maintain the package. Yes, we do need your donations. And yes, people, you can visit our website at www.streetmeet.biz and www.meetup.com/street-meet. Now, as I'm reading my little script, I'm like, man, I wonder if I could find me another little song that's of interest, you know. Like I said, I had went to Honest, but then I got a little turned off while I'm over there. I'm like, I ain't gonna go there. I'm like, boy, I don't know. Let me see. So I'm sitting over here just in a little chit chat. Let me see. Who is that? Bougie Bonton? Let me play him. Bougie. What is his name? Bougie? Yeah. Oh, I had played, special too. I was like, what's that song? And this song and that song. And, hopefully I don't go to any wild stuff. Okay, let me back out of that. But I was like, wow, okay, because I'm trying to actually get to the video. Here it is. Okay, I play a little Bougie Bonton here. Okay, no, I don't want to put that part on there. I don't know. These people advertising on my stuff. Okay, listen now. All right, people, I know. I don't know if you guys hearing that. I ain't trying to have a, like this, that, or the other. It was just playing a couple of beats that I was either thinking about wanting to play or wanted to play and this, that, and the other. I wonder if you guys are able to hear that Jill Scott. And I was like, wow, Jill Scott, that was just phenomenal, We need you. Jill Scott, I've communicated about her, honey. I'm like, honey, she's just one of them women that she just kind of didn't give credit where credit is due. You know that. Ooh, honey, we used to play that song. Ooh, hey, off it. Then it went somewhere else. Hey. How in this world does this stuff get on here? Hold on. Excuse me, this stuff is going somewhere else. I'm not trying to play any of this. Okay, hold on. He's doing the ska. Anyway, I'm like, wow, really? Okay, let me go back over here. Yeah, I have to read my little stuff. I wanted to say, let me go into this so we make sure this is something understood. My telephone number, if you want to reach me, my telephone number is 678-334-3409. Now, they're sitting there talking about this man out in California and how here it is, there was this thing going on here and there. Somebody said that here it is, he had asked about me. Now, I was in California minding my business, okay? Now, it didn't, I mean, I was going here and here and here. It wasn't that I was not interacting because I was. I was up there selling Avon and stuff like that. I was riding a bicycle here and there. You understand where I'm coming from? I was going driving, riding out to the beach and riding here and going there and socializing. So somebody said that someone was looking for me. Okay? But then here it is with all the run that they was doing too. I became concerned. Now, Eric or Alan, if you feel like you want to reach me, I am involved in the community. I have pressed a lot of the street with company stuff out here in Georgia for Alan. For here it is, that young man out there in California, here it is, I have called you. These people act like here it is, it's rocket science, honey. It's like, really. Other than that, all that bobblehead, they sit there talking about how they in a game, and they talking about some byline and everything. Yeah, you can call, hello, 678, that went somewhere else, 678-334-3409. Okay? You can go on www.streetme.biz, send a note. I know you special. Let me play bravado. I went somewhere else. I'm like, wow, really? They going back and forth. So anyway, what it was is I just called a couple of friends that I had met when I was traveling, in Latin America. Here it is. Wait a minute. This means the beginning. Here it is. This means this. So here, I ain't gonna fib to y'all. I'm like, really? What? Right now when you look at, here it is, weighing out certain things, and then here it is, they want to tell me how they looking at this man, this other man, they hooking him up and all that kind of stuff. And yet here it is, they want to live like they primitive, and then they want to go back and forth and argue with me about me traveling, meeting people who, what? I tell you, if you guys don't have it here, don't get me wrong, where's your immigration lawyers at? That would be a question. Why are them folks looking like that? We got these people graduating from school, and it's like, come on now, really, we need lawyers and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Oh, here it is. Look at this. They lift. I ain't gonna fib to you though. Some of that little stuff, we lifting the legs up and everything, moving the thing. Sometimes I'm like, wow, ooh. No, not really. I do not like that. But I'm like, wow, that sounds like some, flipping it up and just that. I'm like, honey, boom. What's really going on with that stuff? Anyway, I'm like, okay, what does that mean? Lifting it up, and here it is, moving the legs, and stumping the feet, and all that kind of stuff. Sitting here like they, like they champions and everything, moving it. Like they got dangle-wangs or something. Excuse you. Listen. I suggest to these people while they going back and forth, and like we hear some people, one of them out there in California, okay, and then here it is, this other one should be around here, I assume. I don't know where them folks at, but I'm like, all this other stuff, I tell you, the gun honest truth, those people know how to have a conversation with me. We don't have to go back and forth like that. Here it is, we have to separate. I'm so concerned because some of that stuff was kind of negative. Okay? Who want to be around negative thinking people? I don't. This woman told me, she said, Irene, you need to surround yourself with people who you think are smart. Where you could learn certain things from them. Excuse me. And I'm like, you're right. Okay? So here it is. I mean, I will call this number again because it's none of y'all business with me if you put no numbers on blast and nothing like that. But hello? Yes, honey. I'm like, wow, really? Is it like that? You got it like that? So they're going to say something about some credit card, right? I'm like, well, here it is. I tell you, what? They did what? My telephone number is 678-334-3409. It doesn't bother anybody to have a simple conversation, okay? Hey, how you doing? I did speak to that character, characters. I mean, for some reason, they was just also gung-ho about certain other things, ho-ho. And I just said, okay, well, here it is. What's the issue? Um, are we trying to work together or here it is, they just feel like they stacking their chips. And everything is okay, so here it is, they think that we at the end of the world or something, because they're talking about, well, here it is, they feel like here it is, the time, it's like, wow, what time is this? What the world they talking about, I'm going to talk about that too. They want to sit here and talk about these people over here, we're talking about these, talking about they want to, oh, here they're trying to challenge us. Ain't nobody trying to challenge anybody, but if you feel like you're persuaded to not do certain things, that's interesting. Well, all these people, and I'm like, really? Really? Okay, but anyway, I'm like, wow, really? And everybody cool with that? But anyway, we have these one group of people, they want to sit there and call the claim, hey, the people them Lion of Judah and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, here it is, most of these people ain't doing anything, they just hanging out, cool, So I'm like, well, here it is. Then you had to, man, them men ain't out there was saying all that, but however, we gotta, right. Continue working, right? Come on, here today just lounging around, ain't doing nothing. Y'all know that's right, huh? I was like, ain't nothing wrong with no phone call. Good Lord, what's really... Let me see if this is Movado. Hold on, okay? Because I know y'all just so special. This is for y'all special people out there. Cause y'all got it like that, right? Like here it is. I'm like, come on, 678-334-3409. Hey, yeah, that too. Boy, it sound like they talking smack. Sweet like that. Anyway, we ain't gonna go there. That's something amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Anyway, Shaggy said it wasn't him. You know, we family, honey. It's just like that. Sometimes, you know, it's just like, what? And, you know, we sit here and we talk about one thing over the other. But even if Alan went out there and he did his thing and he, you know, has his female and stuff like that, what happened to us is socializing and being associates and stuff like that? We're maybe working together and maybe here it is making certain decisions without going through all of that. You know, hey, I've advocate family because that stuff done went somewhere else. That's probably why. Now here it is. What about Eric? Okay, what about him? Now the thing is that they want to sit there and be like, oh, okay, this is that and the other. Oh yeah. Oh, okay, 678-334-3409. I'm like, over a period of time, are you serious? I didn't know nothing about that. A little tidbits here and there along the way. But it's like, here it is, instead of them going back and forth, talking about all this subliminal stuff, and here it is raising the legs and swinging it over like it's on the left side, on the right. Here it is, like it's, you know, swinging, you know what I mean? Come on, y'all, really? But yeah, we're bylining. That sounds like the same stuff. Come on, really? Okay, we ain't going there though, right? Okay. Anyway. No, it ain't anyway. No, it ain't anyway. Then here it is, they talking about these other folks, and this is that and the other, and here it is, people looking for some kind of perfection. I don't, blessings, good Lord, you guys, it's just, you know, idle minds, y'all end up doing all kinds of stuff. Don't be idle. Ain't nothing wrong with an IDOL, but an IDLE. There is a difference. IDOL, IDLE. And so what happens is that when you have people who call themselves, oh, here it is, it's like, come on, really? And so while they sitting there looking at me a certain kind of way, I'm like, whatever they sitting there talking about me, and then yet they sitting there calling them men out there in the West Coast, and them men out there doing all kinds of stuff. Now, what y'all really sound like? Oh, well, here it is. Well, I'm like, I am not, I mean, come on now. I ain't going to even go there with that conversation. Well, you're a plain Jane, sure is. I thought we were talking about business. I thought we were having a conversation. Is this some kind of freak show or we... I want us to be cautious and aware of a few things, especially when you have all these people who want us to have sexual kind of, some odd, not, it ain't odd, but I think that here it is, certain things, you know, listen, you got these people talking about the book, and what happened is that they wanted to have these people look like they were doing this certain kind of things here and there, and what, you know, when you have people who want you to do other kind of sexual acts, or do certain things a certain kind of way, and this is that and the other. They want you to kind of get lost in those sexual behaviors, and they want to have a lot of light on it a certain kind of way. They want you to encourage other people to get involved in things a certain kind of way. The thing is that you have to understand that when we read in the old book, right, in the old history book as we know it, that these are some of the things that was part of the trickery. So the thing is that when we start reading certain things and the conversation goes on a certain kind of way, there's a certain kind of a certain kind of discipline. So when we start talking about the do, then here it is, we must realize a few things. Not that we become loose, but that here it is, we kind of correct what that is. The reason why is because you do have people who feel like they have certain position where they want to sit there and monitor things a certain kind of way. Now, the thing is that yes, when we start talking about operating or functioning in freedom, and here it is, that choice, right? I'm like, okay, we should be able to have access to do just that. Blessings. Don't get it twisted. So what happened is that I was looking at the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transsexual. Hold on, let me write it down and make sure I say it correctly. And then it says, the way that it was reading to me, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, right? And just start looking like large bit. And so I was like, I ain't gonna break it down a certain kind of way. You know, as a matter of fact, I probably need to go and review some of these other things. But what happened is that when you know, hey, ain't nothing wrong when we look at certain things. Hey, you know, for some people, they do believe in the Kama Sutra. That right there in itself, it meant something. Oh, you understand where I'm coming from? The union between a man and a woman and the connectivity of them is good. It's grand. You understand where I'm coming from? Yes. Yes. Okay? Now, I know that I had some conversation about polygamy. There's a difference. Well, it really almost is not a difference between polygamy and polyamory, except that here it is in polyamory, there's an acceptance of here it is maybe parties having other sexual relationships. Polygamy, on the other hand, may mean almost the same thing. Because a man can have a man can have 2, 3 women. He could provide and care for all of them. They can stay on the same yard, and none of those women have to have any relationships with each other. Okay? And then, but yet they are aware of that. Then you have some men, or in that situation, they may have a sexual relationship with, here it is, all of them. These are the kind of things that when we're talking about our freedom, okay, there's a large community that's there to support people who may have these kind of relationships, okay? I ain't gonna fib to you. I think I would probably prefer to knowing that my family was close. We don't have to be sexual, but I just know that here it is, we were able to mingle with each other without feeling like we had to feel like an oddball, because here it is, I have another baby daddy. You're more than welcome to join us. Come on, we're having dinner, you know. I don't know if I should feel a certain kind of way, just actually kind of walked, you know, the thought had went somewhere, and it was like, okay, but this guy, he's kind of bitter. He's bitter for no reason. This man want to tell me about how here it is, I helped him come from another country, and here it is, he has a house. I'm like, most people don't have that. Well, I have to pay for the house by myself. I said, here it is. No, you did not. I was like, here it is. When did a man feel like he had to be irresponsible about where he was living? Ain't that the oddest thing? I'm like, here it is, really, though. But I ain't going to go into all of that. But when you're dealing with somebody and you have a relationship, I may be with a man, and this man may have 2, 3 different baby mamas. Wow, that's a lot. Here it is. He's just not a virgin. Okay? And here it is. Some of these children, they're not virgins because they hear half of this stuff and see some of this stuff too. So why they want to sit here and tell me this sexy woman? The thing is that, okay, you see where I'm coming from? Okay. So the way the book goes, you know, they want to tell you about, oh, here it is, this Virgin Mary. Now, you know Virgin Mary didn't win that manger. Hold on. All our female girls and boys are born virgins. Don't get it twisted. I'm like, wow, what's really going on? But anyway, so listen, I mean, I'm like, wow. So that man, he has a baby. That baby about 10 years old or so. Here it is. I'm like, honey, talking about rabbi. I'm like, I know that's right. When we were priests. I said, do you know what that means? Don't let them folks fool you. Here it is, you priest, and you got all them talking about, here it is, they want you to be a priest, you ain't gonna have nobody. You don't be in no relationship with anybody. You don't be sitting there talking about how you want to kiss up on different folks. Not even a female. Because the priest, she has to be a virgin. If you call them priesthood, don't let them folks fool you. You know, if they're in the church, they say, how in the world they going to go back and forth with me about something? What? And here it is, the church, them looking like them looking. Come on now, really? Thank goodness we don't have all, I don't know, I had to look again, but you know, for a moment there, we was getting the little children on the milk cartons. I'm like, honey, what's going on today, honey? Can you please find them missing people? Shut up. Okay. No, for real though. Okay, Streaming Mingle will be Sunday, July 6, 2014 at 2 p.m. Southwest Library, but we're here to revitalize. Call me. What will you buy? Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Credit card. I didn't do, I had the bed. Send me my money. www.streetme.biz. Anyway. They have a, excuse you. They have a park area, and if you have drums, and we can create some cheer. Tulips will be, tulips is today. Yay! The next Tulips is July 25th, 2014 at 3 p.m. at the Stone Mountain Park. It is a 2-day event. You must make reservations, okay? Tulips today was just that. Wow, it was the ambiance of the place is just beautiful. I wish that here it is. More people would have signed up besides me. But it's all good. I think that here it is over a period of time. It'll roll into what it's supposed to be, okay? All right, there is so many things to do, and we value your support. And, of course, we encourage our listeners to get involved with their local associations, neighborhood club associations, know your politicians, join your libraries, attain your library card, okay? You know, back in the day, it was not back in the day, but just not too long ago, they wanted to try to encourage men to get, boy, I tell you, when we just look at a few things, you know, we had that song, some are riding dirty, you know. Let me say that real quick. They catch you riding dirty and all that. I was like, no, what kind of, you like, come on, y'all, really? I'm like, this is just like basic stuff. Get you a car, before you get a car, get your license and all that kind of stuff. Well, they tell you the truth. They had this thing just looking like it was, you know, going here. Hold on, I don't want to put no dirty lyrics on here. Okay, hold on. I think I want to see the video while you playing. Let me see this. It sounds like here it is. You know, that wasn't too long ago, trying to encourage men to know their constitutional rights and to also have their, you know, license and their insurance and stuff. That stuff like it, like we ain't have it going on. People, do you understand where we are? Okay, hold on. Ooh, that's cool. I like that. Man, I tell you the truth, the certain beauty is just that. Now, come on now. This right here is ridiculous. I don't know if y'all see this video. Ain't that something? Please look at this video, y'all. Now, you know, I'm like, okay, come on. That's even more so, honey. Don't tell me you're in the military act like you got a tiptoe. I'm an innocent woman, so why would you sit there, somebody show me something military? Like you, well, then that would be more reason for a person to feel like they're confident. Okay? No, shut up. Okay. What? Okay. So anyway, I'm like, yeah, that's what I go. Hey, get your license. I'm like, wow, really? All right. You know. All right. Hold on really quick. Go over here. Okay. I gotta check on that stuff. I've been having such a good time. Okay, so anyway, just look get involved. So okay, so anyway, today I wanted to go do the cleanup and do my Dr. Spot area, but I was up late, like I was literally up until like 6 o'clock this morning. Okay, and looking at here it is, various stories, including Easy E, and what a smart man. I don't know, they really have not really given Easy E. I didn't know, blessings, that it was almost 20 years ago. We hear things about Tupac and Biggie. And it was like, oh, here this Easy E, they know how to do this and do that, but he was a businessman. And I ain't going to fib to looking at them, yes, we know they produce their music, and I know that I've also made an expression about just that. In the area out there, you have gangsters need God, too. Well, anyway, just looking at that, modest men, the tone was mellow, You understand where I'm coming from? Like, literally, even if they were pressing things through lyrics, they had a close-knit relationship where they wasn't joning on each other. And I have to dig that up for some of those men out there. I know that here it is. I talked about a stand-up and a round of applause and standing ovation and all that kind of stuff over a period of time, and it's just the truth. Looking at Antonio Villagrosa, and here are some of the efforts that they have made, not only in California, but then also throughout the United States. And so we were having this conversation, and the world. We really need to try to encourage the Africans to stop fighting, and that's the entire continent of Africa. Why are you fighting, So you got the people talking about, where you want to go? I'm like, I ain't going to fit to you. Yes. But whenever we are going and traveling different places and we're not understanding what their policies are or what their law is or what they got going on, then at that point we're actually kind of cheating ourselves. And the reason why is because we want to be able to exercise freedom and liberty and our rights anywhere we go. Some of these places, they do have embassies, and the reason why they have the embassies is because of security, and the security of the comfort of people who are traveling from other countries or country to country, knowing that here it is, there's some relations that's related for the convenience of the people who actually are traveling there. Now, some of these people, they're like, oh, well, here it is, this is that, and the other side. Really? But anyway, they just went through one thing to the next, but I just wanted to say, yeah, I mean, here it is. I guess some of these men, they are good. That's why I'm explaining to you. You mean to tell me what? It's out. No. 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 Oh, here it is. No. Boo-hoo-hoo. Okay. Anyway, yes, people, I'm up trying to get up to find out about my $2.50 ride on MARTA bus. Yes, I'm writing MARTA, but my suggestions and complaints, I need to make sure that I put on their Wi-Fi. They need to go Wi-Fi on some areas. But they was telling, I was listening to this girl. She was just yapping on that dang on train. I said, how in the world she doing all that long-winded talking in the tunnel and all that? They said T-Mobile. Just T-Mobile. I'm like, wow, people, they be on the computer on their phone, and they go through the tunnel and go through Lindbergh and over there, the Earth Center and all that, losing, here it is, their signal. They said T-Mobile got that covered, honey. So the encouragement is for MARTA to try to bring forth, or maybe we had to get in contact with the telecommunications for Metro and all them, Maybe Here It Is MARTA should be trying to do that, to make sure that Here It Is, they put that stuff in there for their customers, Okay. So anyway, I had to pay I ain't have to, I just paid a little money because, hey, wow, really? 7 days is up to what that is. You pay 7 days for that transportation, you should get 7 days, not 6 days, okay? When we look at real time need to be just that. Okay, I pay 7 on Friday, I have up to Friday the same time. Okay, not Here It Is Friday to Thursday. That's not 7 days. That's 6 days. Friday. They wouldn't count Friday, Saturday. Okay, that's the day you're right. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. But in actuality, it really is Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Because when you purchase the card, you should get a full 24 hours from the time that you did that for the next day. Not the same day. 700 days. Okay, I got you. Not a word from you. Shut up. Okay. All right. So anyway, I'm writing them because I feel like Here It Is MARTA is jeeping, and I already had that conversation. I don't know where these people gonna sit here and tell me about. Well, Here It Is MARTA, and the clients and the writers of MARTA is the reason why Here It Is MARTA looking like it's looking in terms of its finances. MARTA needs an audit. MARTA needs to audit the people who are investing on the outside, and Here It Is the CEOs and all them. And I don't even think the CEO, because he ain't getting paid what he should be getting paid. Maybe Here It Is some of them other characters, like they got all that hidden money, I'm like, really? Literally. They get able to tap all those different things. They should have a substantial amount of information when it comes to them Breeze cards. Now, what else is going on? They toot how they don't have any federal government money helping them. Okay? So what is it? Okay? And so anyway, that's what the letter is saying, that they communicating is that they need to try to ask some of these corporate businesses to involve their employees to write MARTA and get incentives for that. Explain to them about the clean air and all that kind of stuff, I'm like, we're busy, it just makes me wonder, for real, where are them people? Okay, and anyway, I was able to meet the lady at the apartment complex where I was talking about those people who are kind of elderly or disabled over there. Well, when I met her, I was glad. It wasn't really a long meeting. We was able to communicate what we wanted to communicate, and so she was telling me about that light across on Campbellton and Barge, and she didn't think the light was long enough. Luckily, I was able to make a couple of phone calls and try to get in contact with some of the people who at the Department of Defense. And then also on Barge Road, I had called the city of Atlanta. I said that I was getting in contact with Mr. Collins. So I got in contact with the city of Atlanta because that sidewalk needs to really be fixed, and they need to find something that will be adequate. And of course, just looking at it, we have to do a nice ditch area so that that water drains right there into the drainage system that they already have. So hopefully that would be possible. We can make that happen. That would be a really, really good thing. So I am getting in contact with them. So I call it our first order of business. Yay! And then I did get an application to adopt, to legally adopt my spots. I just claimed them, but honey, I was like, honey, let me give you some legal papers on that area, honey. I'm over there claiming them and all that. So yes, honey, right here is my little letters for me to claim my adopted spots area. And yes, I have included MARTA. I was like, I ain't going to be trying to do all that, but some of that trash that's over there in that area at that little park and ride, yes, I'm going to pick some of that stuff up. Oh, goodness gracious, better went somewhere else. Why is our eyes going black? I thought we were supposed to have black and white with pupils. If it ain't black and white, I thought it was brown and white. If it wasn't brown and white, blue and white, hazel and white. Please get the colors of the eyes pronto. What the hell is really going on? Anyway. Anyway, I was able to call one of my friends, and I was just talking to you about this kind of stuff. Let me go in here and talk to you guys about this. Now, here it is. I have explained to you guys about my experience and being not in the most desirable position, okay? And I just want to make sure that we're clear on a few things. Me being an adult, me understanding certain things here and there, and me comprehending, you know what? I am a forgiving woman. You understand where I'm coming from? Like literally, I don't hold grudges, okay? At least I don't like to. Yes, I can tell you that I don't like something. At that point, that means you're crossing boundaries. And that's the part that's like, okay, there's no reason for it. And the way I see it, if these group of men cannot say something about that to any other group of men, they don't want you to do this, that, and the other. There's a lot of lights. It should have turned already, okay? It should have already turned, but we wouldn't be going back and forth like this. But we literally, the aspect of the happy side, and us getting along, and here it is the embrace, and here it is somebody else in this conversation, and us working and doing certain things. This shit shouldn't be like it looks. I ain't gonna flip to you. Just from my perspective, it looks good. Anyway, if I have a concern, if someone is doing something, or someone texts me, you know what, you're right. I mean, here it is, they want to tell you about all these different characters, but, I guess any of them could call them. What you think? Come on, y'all. Really? All right. So if this person calls and say, hey, and ask me a question, or this, that, and the other, they're trying to play it like here it is, like there's no interest. Didn't I tell you that if there was a project that came up that was available and accessible for me to travel to Latin America, I would? Yes, they want to get all in. Here we'll be like, I don't know about all that. I didn't say no. I just said I didn't know about all that. I guess certain things is just of importance and some things are not. You gotta, I guess, pick and choose what that is, people. You understand? Not you, but me. You understand? Oh, here it is, right? And I'm like, honey, I'm out here. I'm working with Street Company. And I see that there's a lot of little work here and there and this, that, and the other. And once you start getting involved in working, hey, you doing this and you doing that. So my suggestion to him or them was, not them, but him, was why don't you try to find yourself up here? You understand? Like here it is. We got people who are traveling and they're going here and there. Okay, find yourself up here. You understand? I don't give a flying flip. The thing is this opportunity for the person to have employment. This is why we have a lot of people who travel through Latin America to try to, I guess, come to the land of milk and honey. Now, when we have a lot of, I'm like, wow, I'm looking through some things right here and there. Baby, honey, boom, I'm going to be trying to work on some things like that. And this is the truth. Huh. I don't know what in the world going on here and there, but it's just honest. Let me play his ass. He was honest. Excuse me. Even though, I'm like, I first time I heard it, I was like, I didn't think it looked like that. It thought it looked like an alligator. Somebody else want to tell me what they thought it was. Okay. But I ain't going to go there. Let me go in because, here it is, that done went somewhere else. I said alligator or something like that. I guess if you look at it, it's still a reptile, right? I mean, I guess it's a mammal, isn't it? Wow, I'm like some people. I said tomato, you said tomato. I said it's misty, you said it's drizzling. Come on, same thing. Goodness gracious. No, that's not the same thing. And he look kind of good too, from this perspective. But I said a few words. Yes, I got a few choice words. Where is your honest women? Uh-huh. Come on, here it is when no men make it up there. I'm like, honey, you done had that discussion now, didn't we? Big up to the men who made it, upgraded. And I'm about here, this is their little kingdom. I know that's right. Kingdom. And y'all look like that? I'm like, honey, they haven't built a block of nothing nowhere. Like, wow, you done left them people, what? Oh, I'm sorry. Looking like y'all look. Man, they could even bigged up Baldwin Hills for a moment there. Baldwin Hills on all that over there. When we look at it, here it is, these other areas in Detroit and here and there. It's like, wow, really? Okay, we heard we got little babies. Don't trip, move around alone. I'm like, here it is. I don't believe that these people going back and forth with this big old thing, a certain kind of, and then hit the little baby doll eye. Hey, that woman's eyes is like a business. I'm like, wow, man, this is. Big up to Easy. There was connections, It was like, well, here it is. They were getting upset because here it is. The money was circulating in the family. I'm like, how the hell y'all gonna get upset with that when here it is this business? And yeah, here it is. Everybody got to eat like that. You know what I'm saying? Here it is. This, that, and the other. The cooperative economics. And here it is. Whoa, you gonna handle it like that? Not you. Oh, excuse you. Not you. But you know it was them. Who's them, they? Ooh, her thighs. Those look good. Shut up. Well, where's your Onyx woman, honey? her eyes is the business. The way that they do this lady's eyes in that video, it makes her, first of all, look like a baby doll. And then, remember the little baby dolls we used to have? Where, the eyes open and they're closed and open. So this is just actually kind of like a feature that they have. And it's the business. And then some of these other pictures, that woman with her thigh, that looked good too. It's just the way the picture is how it's angled, or the video is angled there. That's what makes it look good. Anyway, yeah, big up to that, but no, honey, Onyx women, honey. Y'all should make sure y'all have an Onyx woman there, honey. I don't know why we have to feel a certain kind of way when here it is, when we sit here and we talk about pictorials. I have not ever seen, here it is, Eminem and them having none of that. Let me check. Because I know they probably have, well, I don't know, Paul Wall probably have had that. I don't know. Let me look. I don't know, call like it look like, huh? I ain't look. I don't know. I don't have to go way back, way in. I'm like Paul Wall and Eminem. I was like, honey, I haven't quite seen that. Okay, Paul Wall, he got him a light skin to go call him. Hold up. So, yeah. What you saying, huh? Okay, let me look. All right. Thank you, Paul Wall. 2 finger up church. Okay, but you know what I mean. Some of them country singers, but of course I have to put y'all in the same little category when I'm talking about rap and stuff like that. So hold on, let me look at Eminem. I'm like, well, Beastie Boys and them didn't do that. Oh, honey, for real, I'm like a brass monkey. Okay, same thing for Eminem. Okay, hold on, because for some reason they act like here it is. We just don't understand. We do. Hold on, for some reason Beastie Boys is taking a moment. Brass monkey, the funky monkey. I start getting on, touching little toes right there. Honey, they act like they had to act up. We like, we like that song, honey. Let's go ahead and play a little bit of Brass Monkey. That funky monkey. From there, it was always my posse on Broadway. Then I went somewhere else. they silly. I was just looking at them, I think one of them, not too long ago, they was paying a tribute to him. So yes, big up to the Bratz Beastie Boys. I didn't know that. Here it is. He said, shut up, I want to play this. Now, I just said, after that, comes my posse on Broadway. You know that. But the Beastie Boys actually have another one. Not Girls, Girls. That one is okay. But with Brass Monkey came another one. But of course, at the Brass Monkey, it was my posse on Broadway. We used to be like, hey, my posse on Broadway. Shit. They used to do Broadway, which I don't understand why they didn't get on Broadway, especially when we look at Broadway going from Manchester all the way to whatchamajigget up to Imperial. Even if we went to El Segundo, it was more room than it was on Crenshaw. We used to go hang out on Broadway. Then we ended up going on Crenshaw. They were doing Crenshaw from, doing over there at Merritt Park and then going back over. But Broadway was bigger. I'm like, here, there's so many people, hey, for people from the West Coast, of course. Look, do y'all remember when we used to do parades up on Mount Avenue? That was way back when. You had to be from that spot to know that here it is. We were doing parades up there on Vermont. We used to have parades, and it was fitting because we would have the median. And then here it is, the parades will come down the street. This is before, of course, the riots and all that, because we used to go to that swap meet. They used to be on Vermont with the county building in it now. But back in the day, said for real, we used to have our little parades and stuff there, and it would go from that parade all the way down to Martin Luther King. And so we used to get, well, no, it wasn't on that dang on far. They said, that was a long route. Maybe it was, but I know we used to hang out at Exposition. Okay, now earlier today I saw this man. He was just beeping his head and everything like that. He was just doing a dang on thing. And so as he was doing his thing, I started thinking about, here it is, Busta Rhymes. I know, right? So I was just like, okay, he was just like really just bobbing his head a certain kind of way. I was like, okay. And it was just kind of a little effect for me too. That's like, I wonder what he listening to. Blessings. And then it was just bopping his head and it went somewhere else. And I was like, yay. I know. I mean, I stayed up and stuff. Hold on. Okay, let me go into my little stories. Let me finish this. Anyway, so I just I'm like, okay. So I made some phone calls, like, this, that, and the other. I did get in contact with some other people. I do have a few people on my Meetup.com. I encourage people to get on the Meetup.com. For some reason, people don't want to get on the Meetup, but they want to go on Facebook. I'm like, come on, okay? Here it is. Okay, I gave you my name. I told you to go on Meetup.com, not Facebook. But I have more people who Facebook. I guess because Meetup.com is new. Okay, and the structure of that is a little different than it is for Facebook. Um, yes, please find the colors of the retinas, please, pronto. Apparently, he is so ugly. I just fine. He's all right, baby. I don't know if I'm messing with those dreads or what. Do he have dreads in there? I'm for real. I wonder if these men are looking at themselves. Do y'all really see yourselves? Yes, y'all are a different breed. When we look at, here it is, the men that come from the northern part of America, then you have your islanders, and then you have your Africans. Don't get it twisted. I'm not saying that we all don't put on our pants. You understand where I'm coming from? And our shirt and everything and all that. But here it is, y'all men look, y'all carry yourself differently. And then a lot of these other people, they look like, here it is, some of the island men. So it's just the truth, It just, y'all just kind of look like y'all look. And I'm like, wow, and of course, don't get it misunderstood, honey. I'm traveled over here, and here it is, the islands and some other places. Honey, they got some of this stuff beat. Okay? So, but, maybe because of this, that, and the other. Ain't nothing wrong with us wanting to, have certain possessions here and there. But, yeah. This right here. This is it, yeah. Oh, and then for these people who wear these dreadlocks, please, you gotta get the pressure off of the top of your head. Because the thing is, a lot of them look like they just bald-headed. I'm like, wow, don't get me misunderstood. And he's a... But I just want y'all to see yourselves. See you. Don't get it twisted. It ain't like here it is. We don't have men who are doctors here and there and looking good. But, this is, when you look at, here it is, the culture of people. This is like they look. Say even some of those men from the islands. And it was funny, I had met this guy. Was in LA. He was a Haitian guy. He said, do you know voodoo? He asked me if I know voodoo. I did I believe in voodoo. I don't know which one it was. But then I had to ask him, do you know voodoo? So anyway, not to say like I'm bigging it up, because here it is, the Occidental man, it's like they got all that voodoo and stuff going on over there. Why them Haitians haven't ever picked themselves up in all of the situation they've been in? Or to pay attention. And it's like, wow, you know. So here it is, their argument has been, you know, they have been able to pick themselves out of that, you know, yet they want to talk about voodoo. I couldn't understand why that man asked me about that. But I was like, well, you know, most of this stuff is just kind of, you know, certain places that, you know, But then in Latin America, like with the Morenos, you know, it's practice. Matter of fact, they'll go into different areas. It's not voodoo, but they just taking on a particular space. You know, then they'll talk about the voodoo doctor and the witch doctor and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, I said that to say, I like his hair like that. Shut up. He got round hair, right? Talking Chinese. Shona. What you know about that? And they would have jumped on that and held on them ram ears, them horns. Okay, yeah, because here it is. Just because, you know, you don't have to do all that funny business with me because an Asian woman comes on the scene. I mean, I think it's fucked up and unfair to me, if you understand where I'm coming from. I don't feel ashamed of me. Come on, y'all, really? Please. Like, come on, we gotta cross over and move on about our business. Okay, we straight, right? Okay. So the thing is moving on from there. It's called Tranquility. No, I don't know. That went somewhere else. Anyway, good night, you people. Good night, because I'm like looking at this and I'm like, for real. Anyway, I was just sharing with you, I guess, you know, a little music here and there and just saying, hey, you know, it's just the thought of the day is about Eazy-E. I'm like, wow, it wasn't that long ago, and you know, it was like talking about attitudes and all that kind of stuff, and went down to the NWA and all that. So I kind of shared some music and stuff. I didn't really share any of Eazy-E music. Matter of fact, let me see. Hold on. I didn't share any much of Eazy-E music, but the thoughts are. Let me see, Eazy-E. Oh, okay, I did, Cruising Down my 6-4. Yeah, I did do that one. Like the Cutlass and everything. Man, back in the day, the Impalas used to be the business. We the half trunk, had the trunk of the, and then the low trucks. Man, we used to have the Fat Boys. Oh, it used to be a restaurant on 79th. It was a restaurant there. Now it's a little kiddie place. But they were how the Fat Boys would go and perform over there. They'll perform over there, and wow, said here it is. Those people, they would, I don't know, they went somewhere else. But anyway, they would hang out and stuff, and we used to, man, they used to have the best shakes over there too. But anyway, they had this thing. Them people would be out there, and they have, remember when the Bataram? Hold on, let me see. Hold on, let me see. The Bataram. Remember the Bataram? Bataram. Then let me see if they have it. I don't know if they have the Bataram. Let me see, Bataram. Let's see if they have. But boy, we used to have those big old. But they had. What happened was, this is before the SUV, and this is also almost kind of aligned with. I don't know what was that, a Chevy? I'm not really sure what it was, but they used to have these big tires, and we used to jump on that, and we'd be right down the street, right? These big. I know. I went somewhere else. But they had these big tires, and it would roll, and we would jump on it, and well, of course, it was owned by somebody. And I think they had actually stopped those vehicles, so I don't know. Jeep was out, but this was bigger than Jeep. It was bigger than the regular SUVs that we see today. Oh, hold on, let me see if I read here that around. So hold on, let me see. Boys in the Hood. Okay, I remember that one. People. What would you do for a Klondike bar? I don't know, let me see. I don't know if I really want him to be on here using the same language and all that and everything. Look, you're so fine right here. All right, I'll do this one. Okay, shit, both does harmony for a hologram of Eazy-E. I thought what's name did a hologram of Eazy-E too. Oh, that was a Tupac. I'm like, big up, for real. I'm like, wow, I want to look at that. Big up to Eazy-E. I know. That done went somewhere else. He was one of the first. We're looking at Russell Simmons, and here it is, Puff Daddy and all that. But when it came down to rap music, he was one of the first of them to actually, communicate, hey, we need our own labels, and this, that, and the other, blase, blase. Okay, it's rolling through there. Hold on, okay. We will easy. We will easy. I'm like, yeah, honey, boom. Oh, no, huh? Let me see. He had his... So anyway, don't get it twisted. Okay, it took a minute for it just going up there. I'm sorry. He's like, that's the way he comes out on stage. That's right. All right, people. I'm gonna see the other one, the hologram and all that. But hey, I just want to play this maybe about two time right here. Good night. Oh, hold on. I don't know, right? Good night. Sayonara. I want to actually, do some of the things in terms of cleaning up and adopt a spot. Maybe do an hour or two, sweep up over there and all that. I had my stuff pulled up for today. I don't know. Here it is. What's going on? All right. Wow. Really? Okay. Thanks for joining Street Meet the Point listening audience. And hope to have your support. We do accept donations. Hey, you already know that. I ain't going to do that anymore. Because you should know, everyone is valuable, and your participation to help yourself, family, community, local, state, region, federal, and global community relies on the many people that contribute to it being an effective structure. Yes, thanks again. Please visit www.streetmeet.biz and our connect partner www.meetup.com/street-meet. I like to go finish some EVE. I'm like, oh, I wonder if other people will watch EVE. But that's okay. Okay, so the thing gets big up to EVE. Here it is, all in camps. No, not really. You know, he really do some sustainable people, didn't he? And that was the thought yesterday. Some of them, I mean, really a sustainable group of people. And here it is, and it's just the truth. Wow. You know what I mean? Like, famous names come out of that company. And say, here it is, him being a popular person, and so were some of the other ones very popular in what they were doing. Good night, people. Let me play this. It's my, this little beat. This is the business. I like it.
Des enfants, à compte de tes histoires, n'hésite pas mon enfant, avec un verre sucré, nous la pouvons manger à toi, mais ça... Des enfants d'Ounia, raconte tes histoires, mise pas mon enfant, avec un verre l'eau sucrée, nous la pouvons manger à toi, mais ça va rôder, la case mon moment d'eau.
I think that's probably what I need to do is probably find some, because that's the part I like, a little drum. I had all my music on this thing, and for some reason it went somewhere else.